Yo, so the settings are different. I'm on my balcony at the moment, just chilling. And in this video, I want to talk to you about a conversation I had with one of my clients today about just starting her dream, right? She came into the program with me. I'm going to give you context on her situation, right? So she's someone who is been very good at saving and is now someone who it's not that her savings is running out, but she's definitely just conscious about like I can't just keep like not having a stream of income, right? She has a dream, and I won't talk about the dream, right? Let's just not talk about the dream, but it would just say that she has something that she wants to pursue right now, right? But there's a limiting belief around it, right? And for her, she wants to, her brain just keeps going into what she knows that can help her to get an income again, which is obviously working a 9 to 5 role or anything that gives her an income through a corporation or something, for example, right? So I was on a call today, and obviously I'm here to help her to lean into her dream, but there's no evidence of that that happening before and a result, so that she can actually go, okay, yeah, well, this looks like it's doable. It still feels a bit like a question mark, right? So obviously, one of the exercises that I wanted her to do, if I'm going to share with you today, is that I gave her context on the two paths that she has control over and a choice that she can make around them both. The decision that she can make is she can go back to, like, she can apply for jobs, right? Get a job, a 9 to 5 role. I said to her, do you think that if you got a job next week, would you be happy in that role? And like, what would be the next step for you from there? And she said that she feels that she'd be taking a step back, right? A step backwards on the journey. So for me, that was a definite like signal for me that she obviously is not really wanting to do that. She's just doing it for survival mode, right? Which sounds completely normal, right? It's a default that society's given us, and it's fine, right? There's nothing wrong if she does decide to do that, right? But what I questioned her on is I said, look, listen, what's the worst that's going to happen if you try something that has to do with your dream and you go all in on your dream, like, and it doesn't work? Like, what's the worst that is going to happen for you if you try it for 3 to 6 months and it doesn't work, right? But the follow up that I had for that as well is I gave her context for the two paths. The first path is that she decides, you know what, I'm going to go all in on trying to find work, and then I'm going to be not really fulfilled in that role, but I'm definitely going to get my salary that's going to pay for my bills, my cost of living, so on and so forth. And I might be able to put some time aside for this dream of mine, right? I said to her, when I was in my 9 to 5, I was a manager, right? I was a manager in the corporate world. I worked, my shift was around 7.5 hours a day. Then you had the break in between, right? So you had the lunch break and all that. So I was doing about 6.5 hours of work there, but then obviously there was the breaks. And then there was the commute there, which was kind of brain rot, kind of consuming on the way to work. And then there was also the brain rot consuming on the way back. And then there was the being completely exhausted when I got back home and dreading the next day. And so it wasn't just a 7.5 hour shift. It was a lot more than that, right? Because of the cycle that I had before and after shift as well. That was playing a part in my journey, right? So I was getting like maybe just under 2K a month, right? I think most of you that are watching this right now probably could not imagine trying to survive on 2K a month, right? But that's what I was doing, right? And in Spain, I could definitely get a couple of holidays from that salary. My mortgage is pretty low because we obviously paid a lot up front, right? And then, like I live in a town in Barcelona, so it's like, the cost of living like is not that much, right? I had a certain amount that was my amount that I had as like, this is how much I can live on and this is how much I can save, right? So I could have just continued doing that until I retired, and I'd have probably just had a like a little pension and a little bit of savings, right? What I was trying to say to her is that if I just kept doing what I was doing, ADHD would not exist. One, I would have given up, and another thing is that I would have just been miserable, right? Because I won't be doing something that's purpose driven and what I love, and I would have put a lot of hours into someone else's dream or someone else's business model. What I was saying to her is that it's a lot more than the hours I was doing there. Like I said to you, right? I just told you that there's a lot of hours that I was pumping into this job, and the fatigue after the role, after like even weekends. Like if you think about a Friday, oh yeah, Friday I got the weekend, right? And then the Saturday, if you waste that Saturday, maybe you're exhausted, maybe you're sleeping for too long, maybe it's a bad day where you've not really organized anything, so in the end it's a wasted day. Sunday, you feel defeated. You feel like, oh, I got work tomorrow. Damn, that was quick, right? So it takes up a lot more of your time than you realize. Now, let's just look at what my life looks like right now, right? So I'm currently a coach. I coach anyone who has a project that they want to actually start and finish. They just have a block with finishing that project. Maybe they're overwhelmed with the details. Maybe they're overwhelmed with what's going to help them to move the needle forward, or what they need to prioritize or focus on, or time management. That's my role. My role is to make sure that they have a very clear roadmap on how they can go from point A to point B and follow through and be consistent on this thing that they say that is the thing that they love to work on, right? That's what I do, right? And what I also do is I do content creation. What you're seeing now is one of my roles in my job, which is creating a piece of content, right? I do this on YouTube. My YouTube following is not as big as my IG following. My IG following is at 130, I think it's 137 or 36K on there. And that was all based on me building my personal brand on IG. And now I'm putting more of my focus now on YouTube, right? So my daily activities are connecting with my audience through content like I'm doing here. My daily activities is connecting with them in the DMs, people that have expressed interest in the content that I post, or have opted into a lead magnet, which is my free school community, right? There's a link in the description for that, by the way. And then there's the people that are in my school community that have questions, or they are obviously someone who's just about to dive into the content that I've got there for them, and are obviously in a position where they want to really take their ADHD journey to another level, right? They want to embrace their traits, and they want to basically see it as like they want to be able to embrace this superpower that we have, right? So I'm connecting to people in the DMs. I'm creating content that I'm trying my best to make sure that it's as valuable as it can be, right? Through YouTube and IG. And I have client calls. And all I do with my clients is obviously make sure that they have a very clear action plan for the week that they have ahead. That I can help them break down their goals into smaller, like little tiny pieces, so it's easier for them to manage. I help them with the brainstorming aspect. I help them with the kind of the blockage that they might have had throughout their weeks, right? If I put all my energy into improving those three aspects in those 7 8 hours, 9, 10 hours, whatever that I was doing in my 9 to 5, and I weren't doing a 9 to 5, and I was only pumping all my energy into growing this YouTube channel, expanding on what I've grown on IG, improving the customer experience, or the client experience, improving my product, I'm definitely going to make more than 2K per month, right? And that's what's actually been happening, right? What I'm trying to share with you here is that there's two paths we can take. We can either build our dream or we could build someone else's dream. If we build someone else's dream, you are spending 8 to 10 hours a day for a very little return on your investment of time, right? If I invest all my time of my day and distribute in the way that I just shared with you, and I just only focus on the main things that drive business for me, I'm going to get not just a better ROI of my investment of my time, but I'm also going to get an ROI of my, like I'm obviously going to get a lot more investment that I can pump into my business when I scale my business or grow my business, right? Through contribution. All I'm doing is I'm prioritizing contribution, right? This video is a formal contribution to some people who might resonate with what I've shared today. This is a contribution to them who might have needed to hear this. Anyone that I speak to on IG through a DM and I might send them a voice note, that's my contribution to them. They might be going through a tough day. That voice note might have made a difference to help them to get past that tough day that they're having. That IG reel or that repost or that carousel that I might have posted on my IG has contributed to someone to see ADHD as like more of a positive spin on it versus all the negativity that they're probably seeing on their feed, right? I'm prioritizing contribution. That's all I'm doing. And all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to encourage people to do the same. And if they're not doing it, there's a reason for it. And I'm identifying what that blind spot is for them. That's all I'm doing. And the return that I get of my investment of time into that is that I get to build a lifestyle business, an ADHD lifestyle business. And my goal for the rest of this year is just to basically help anyone who wants that same lifestyle change, right? I was in the corporate world. I slugged it away for 25 years of my life, minimum wage jobs. The highest pay that I ever got was 30K a year. I never crossed past that. And I'm in my 40s, right? Until I left my 9 to 5 and I focused on ADHDizzle and started doing 10K plus months with my business. And that happened the end of last year. And I'm now in the process of scaling my business, right? To have it basically provide me with financial freedom, right? Am I saying that is easy? No. It's been fucking hard, right? And I'm using the F-bomb here because it has. It's been extremely hard, right? But do you know what's harder? It was harder when I was on my commute. We had a car, but I hate driving in the city. So I took the bus. And that bus journey was an hour commute. And when I'm on the bus, I couldn't focus on anything. So I ended up just brain rot content. Like that's all I was doing in my commute. So I spent 2 hours commute with brain rot content or just consuming videos, feeling like I was doing the work when I wasn't, right? I was going into an office where I was extremely anxious to be in the office because that walk from when I scanned myself to come in and that walk, it felt like the catwalk, man. It felt like someone that's walking down a catwalk and, you know, everyone's all eyes on them, right? That wasn't the case, but that's just what it felt like, right? And I had to walk to my desk. Hey guys, how's it going? Knowing that I felt shit, that I fucking just can't wait till the day's over. And then I liked everyone that I worked with. There was nothing wrong with my colleagues. It was just the work I was doing was really, really dry and it wasn't purpose driven. It was very linear. It was very just like, I've got to finish this task. AI could have done the stuff that I was doing. And I think highly likely AI is going to replace the job that I was doing, right? So why am I saying all of this, right? I've been there. I've been in the place where I was in survival mode. I did what I could to get as much money as I could, that I could actually, that I believe that I can have. I got promoted in my role. I used to be an agent where I just used to take calls non-stop, and I was burnt the fuck out. I really didn't want to do that job anymore. I actually got depressed with doing that. And then I had the opportunity to get promoted to a manager, and I went for that role and I got it, and I felt like a fucking imposter when I got the role, because there's loads of people that applied for it that were just more qualified than me. But because I was more likable, and maybe just like my manager had more belief in me, she chose me. And then I had the guilt of course, leaving that role, because I felt like ungrateful that I got this role, and now I feel like I want to leave it because I want to basically transition to someone who does purpose driven work, which is what I'm doing now, right? I suffered for months with guilt when I left my 9 to 5. My manager was across the room with me when I was telling her that I need to go on unpaid leave, and it's for personal reasons, right? So there were personal reasons that made me do the leave, but there was also that I just felt like I kind of not sure if this is the career I want to continue with, and I didn't want to have to make that decision while I was so vulnerable at the time with the personal issues that were happening at home. So I felt like it was just too much to take on and too much decision making to make and work at the same time. So I took unpaid leave, right? I self sabotaged for months, feeling bad that I left when I left. Like it wasn't a great time to leave. Like I was letting the team down and all this stuff, right? But on the other end of it, I was changing people that were in my program's life, people that I created a school community for's live. The course that I created while I was off, it's changed people's lives, and it's a free course, right? So I had to exchange the things that I knew. Yeah, I'm going to get a guaranteed pay wage. I'm in a secure role. I'm a manager. You know, like I could retire with this and all this stuff. But it didn't feel like it was that. This didn't feel like the happy ending that I wanted. It didn't feel like it was the thing that was. It just didn't feel like it was what I was supposed to be doing, right? So fast forward to today. Um, yeah, I'm just doing exactly what I love doing, and it does come with turbulence, but nothing in life is supposed to be smooth. Most of this is a very turbulent journey, right? And I told my client this the other day. I'll leave it at this, but the best way to describe my journey right now is that I'm on a plane, and there's turbulence on the plane, and you have this little bit of nerve, like, oh shit, the plane's shaking a bit, like, oh, and you get a bit worried because you're like, oh, this is a bit turbulent, right? But you know that that the destination is that you're going to be on the beach, you're going to log into your hotel room, you've got the spa booked already, you've got that meal that you're going to have on the chiringuito, and you're going to be doing excursions, and you're going to do hiking and all this stuff. That's how I could describe my journey right now, right? I'm doing the work, and I'm posting consistently daily, and I'm doing what I can to just share my mission and contribute. And in the process, I'm in a better position than I would have been if I just stayed in my 9 to 5 and just didn't lean into this dream that I have, right? My dream's just to help anyone that has ADHD who was just like me, man. Like I was in a very, very shit position, man. A good one, like it like on paper, like it sound very good, but what I mean is that I just wasn't doing what my brain is made for. I feel like my brain's made for problem solving, helping people through this tough like challenge of like identity crisis that they might be having right now, that they feel like they've been masking their whole life and they want to actually do something better than what they're doing right now. If you're that person, there's a link in the description. You could learn what it'd be like to work with me on something that you have a passion for right now that is not quite what you're doing right now. And the call is just about seeing if I can identify that blind spot. If I think I can help you, I will tell you that. And you would just tell me if you would like to hear what it'd be like to work with me, and I will tell you. That's all that call's about. If you don't want to, if you're not interested in knowing what it'd be like to work with me, you could just tell me and I won't tell you the details, but I will try and point you in the right direction at least. That's the nature of the call. But the call's not about you just complaining and not having any intention to take any action on this. I do want you to take an action, and the action's either going to be doing it with me or it's going to be doing it yourself, but me just pointing you where you should do that and what you should focus on right now. So yeah, if you're interested in learning more about that, just link in the description for the roadmap call. It will help you to see how I might be able to help you, right? Apart from that, I hope this was a valuable video. Hit the like button if it is something that was valuable for you, so I know that I should do more videos like this. And obviously subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Anyway, take care. Peace.